I was doing a deal that you had helped me with, and the business owner said, hey, let me get the contract over to the attorney. I feel great about this. I'm ready to go.
Mm-hmm.
Followed up a week later, just like you literally told me to do, and didn't hear anything. I'm still getting the attorneys reviewing it.
Yeah.
How do I kindly say, are we doing this or not this year?
You don't. So here's what you don't want to do. You don't want to put yourself in a position where you're putting pressure on, hey, are we doing this or not doing it? Okay? As your coach, I'm just going to tell you how this has worked for me in the past. Just assume you're not doing it, but trust your process. Run the play, right? Throw that deep ball down there knowing, it's probably not going to go, but I still have 2 other downs to get a yard, right? Like, keep your head in the game. But the minute you call them and say, hey, are we doing this or not doing it? The minute that they feel like they're being yelled at by a parent. And that's not a good feeling, even if you're 6 years old, right? So just stay, and I know this sounds crazy, but just stay on call. And you're not going to say calling to see if it makes sense for the attorney to review it. You're not going to put yourself back in that hole. You're going to say, calling to see if it makes sense to get the agreement signed so we can move forward with bump, 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 right? Calling to see if it makes sense to get the agreement signed, ideally, so you can. And then whatever outcome they wanted with working with you with the business. So you guys can increase revenue by $7 million over the next 2 quarters, right? What's the outcome they want? Okay, calling to see if it makes sense for us to get the agreement signed. And then they're going to go, man, Chris, now all of a sudden somebody being defensive is probably going to call you and go, Chris, I got to tell you, this attorney's a pain in the ass. I get it, right? Some of my best friends are attorneys. Also, some of them are pains in the butts, right? Like, I get it, right? What's a good next step? I mean, the one thing, he just had, I know it was 4.3. There was a paragraph in there. He was saying if that was just totally red line that we could go, and he's been working on redrafting that paragraph. I know he's just trying to charge me $900. Would it make sense for us to just scratch it out? You initial it, I initial it, we move forward? Yeah, let's do that. Awesome. Congratulations, you made a great decision. I'll go ahead and strike everything there. I'll initial it, send it over to you. Cool. Hey, Chris, thanks for being patient with me. Yeah, no problem. But the minute you're like, hey, are we doing this or are we not doing this? The minute you put them in the middle and they're looking bad, and that's just not good. So but don't put yourself back in the hole when you call them, right? Don't say, hey, calling to see where we're at with the attorney. Calling to see if it makes sense for us to move forward, right? Because worst case, they're going to go, as I told you, Chris, I'm still waiting on them. Totally get it, right? Just wanted to check in with you. I will check in with you 4th of January if I haven't heard from you before then. Fair enough? Yeah, that works. Chris, thank you so much for being patient.